guys, it's Jen over at worldofjencraft.com, and this is our project for today. And yes, it is another Christmas card. I know we're getting close, but one of my downline, Pam, and I swapped out some stamps a few weeks ago, and I wanted to hurry up and get this one inked up and played with before it's no longer, well, Christmas. And before it goes away in the holiday catalog. So let's get started with the supplies that I used along with how I created this project. So I did break out my 1/8 of an inch silver ribbon yet again. And the stamp sets that I used are the Seasonal Chums Bundle. This comes with the stamp set and the dies, or you can buy the stamp set by itself. And then the Christmas quilt stamp set yet again for the have yourself a merry little Christmas sentiment on that one. The additional dies that I used were the layering circles framelits and my stitch shapes framelits. Surprise, surprise. The Memento Tuxedo Black, because I'll be coloring in our snowman with the alcohol markers, and the Cherry Cobbler stamp pad. Now I have a long list of markers, so I will list them out. Basically, I use both the light and the dark of most of these colors. So the supplies for the card itself, the paper is a 4 1/4 by 11. Oh, I lied. It's not. I'm so used to making that size. It is a 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I scored it at 4 1/4 to create the size card. And then a 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, a 2 3/8 inch stitched circle, and a 1 3/8 inch stitched circle. And then you will need a scrap. Now this is kind of big for what I need, but you'll need a scrap in order to stamp the image on. And then Old Olive cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4, and you'll need a 1 1/2 inch scalloped circle. Cherry Cobbler, just a 2 1/2 inch scalloped circle. And then I use some silver foil for the snowflakes. So just a little tiny scrap of that is all you'll need. Let's go ahead and I'll stamp out my image first and get him going here. So I'm just going to get my Memento Tuxedo Black, and you really don't need to stamp out the whole entire thing for this card because I just used the front part of it, but you might as well go ahead and ink it all up anyways. And then that's just going to get stamped out here on our Whisper White. Just like that. And I'm going to set this little guy aside just for a minute to finish completely drying, and then we will start assembling our card. So I kind of liked the idea of using the little circles again as ornaments on our card, so I just went with it again. So you're going to attach your Whisper White to your Old Olive first, and then you are going to attach your Whisper White circles to your scalloped circles. And then I did use a little tiny glue dot to stick my snowflake on to the Old Olive circle. And I thought this silver foil paper was really pretty when I was using the ribbon here. So then what you're going to do is we're going to add on some Stampin' Dimensionals, and then we're going to add some ribbon to the back side of it. And I just used, again, a little tiny glue dot for the back of it, and then you're going to place that here on the back side. And once we have that, we're just going to place this down here into this bottom portion of the card, leaving maybe about 1/8 of an inch all the way around, making sure that your ribbon is going straight up and down on it. So that looks about right, and then we're just going to cut off this top part, and that will get adhered to the back. And then I'm going to do the same, except I'm not going to pop dot this one. I'm just going to put just some adhesive on the back and then put my ribbon using a glue dot. And then that's going to get placed, I don't know, maybe about 1/4 of an inch away from our larger circle, making sure our ribbon is straight up and down, which it is not on this one. Let's see if I can get that. So let's see, maybe about here. And then we're going to turn this around and put adhesive on the back and attach it to our card base. So this is just going to get wrapped around here, and this one's going to do the same. I might trim off some of that excess. I cut it a little bit long. And then let's throw this on the back here, or on the front of our card base. And then we get to go to the fun part of coloring in our snowman. So I'm going to go ahead and color him in for the most part, and I'll fast forward through it. And then when it gets to the shading part of his body, I kind of wanted to show you how I do that. So I will slow the video down at that point and explain more how to do that. So I wanted to kind of go over just a few things here with him. I attempted to do a little bit of shading when it came to using the light and the darks of the old olive and the cherry cobbler. So I would color the first line, or color first with the lighter one and then go over it with the darker one. And then I did come back over with the lighter one again just to kind of blend it in just a little bit. So I don't know, oops, wrong way. I don't know if you can see like the shading that is in there. And then for the little bunny at the bottom, I started off and colored him all in with the light crumb cake, and then colored him down here at the bottom with the dark, and then shaded, just went back over with my light again. So he's a little bit darker on the bottom than he is on the top. And then I added just a little bit of pink down there for his cheek. Now what I'm going to show you here is how to get this shading. And let me bring this up here and show you what I mean. I don't know if you can see like this little gray shading around his body and his face. So what I did to create that was I just went using my light smoky slate, and I just kind of came around the edge with it. And at first you're thinking, well, I thought, man, that's just going to be way too dark. But then what you're going to do is you're going to come back with this color lifter, and you are just in a circular motion. You are going to go over that and draw that out. And what this does is it lifts up that gray for the most part and then just kind of blends it in. So I'm just going in a circular motion with my color blender, or my color lifter, sorry. And we're just going to be lifting that color so it's not as intense of a line going around it. So I just kind of brought that in, and it will lighten as you go. So I did that to all of the parts of my snowman. So I will point out, now that I'm done, I did get a little bit of bleeding, and that's because I had laid too much of that color lifter down. So you might not want to go over it as much as I did. My first one I did not get that, so I must have just been a little, just laid it down more. So that is that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our big shot, and we are going to cut him out. And these dies and stamp set are really made for creating a tag. But you can easily cut out the front image from the back. So that's all I did. So I'm going to line this up here and run it through my big shot, and then I'm going to cut the rest of his head out after. So this is what you're going to have. And see, there's like, if you were to fold this together, then it has a little area here that you can run some ribbon or twine or something through and throw it on as a gift tag, and you can even write inside of it. Isn't that just the cutest? But we're not going to use it that way. We're just using it as a card. So I'm just going to finish rounding off the top part of his head here, and this is all we're going to use. So then all I did is I took some adhesive and stuck him on the front of our card, and I did put him at an angle, just a slight one. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp out our Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And any stamp set would go along with this, and it doesn't have to necessarily be Christmas because it's a winter scene. But to be honest with you, this was the only stamp set I had that fit nicely in there. Most of them were either too big or too small, so I kind of went with this one because I liked how it fit inside. And it's such a cute little sweet font. The final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tie a couple of bows. So let's get, I'm going to go, I think, let's see, how was I going to, oh, I'm going to, instead of going back this way, I'm going to come forward with it. And then I'm going to wrap behind it and somehow pull this through to get our bow to lay nicely. So there's that. There. And now, I'm so happy I figured that out. I cannot tell you how much that has changed my bow making, because now I have just the perfect little bow every single time. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off. And then we'll make a second bow doing the same thing. So again, I'm bringing my ribbon forward here, wrapping it around backwards, and then bringing this through oh so carefully to create our bow. And then you'll just pull down, pull down. I made this bow a little bit smaller than the other one because my circle was smaller. So that one looks about right. And we'll just trim off the excess here. And then we're going to stick these on using a mini glue dot. And then our card will be done. So that one's going to go on here. And this one will go on our big one. And just like this. So that's it. What do you guys think? I thought it turned out pretty darn sweet. Even though I kind of copied another card, but I just really like how those turned out. Alright guys, thank you for tuning in and watching and supporting my YouTube channel. I am close to 3,000 subscribers. Oh my goodness, I think it's time for me to put out another personal video, huh? Dimensions and supply sheet that is downloadable and printable can be found on my website, worldofjencraft.com. So head over there if you would like to see or print it out. Thanks again for watching. I will talk to you guys later on my next video. Bye.